In a forest deep and quiet where ancient trees whispered secrets to the wind, the very first snowflakes of winter began to fall. They danced down from a soft grey sky, each one a tiny, perfect star, blanketing the world in a hush of white. It was a magical time, but for one little creature, the magic felt a little lost. A young fawn, no bigger than a whisper, stood trembling beneath a giant oak. His coat was the colour of warm cinnamon, dappled with spots like fallen stars. He had been playing a game of chase with a swirling leaf when he realized the familiar, comforting scent of his mother was gone. Now, all he could smell was the crisp, clean scent of snow and pine. He turned his head, his large, dark eyes wide with worry. The forest, usually so full of friendly sounds, was now silent, muffled by the growing layer of snow. He was all alone. He let out a soft, questioning bleat, a sound so small it was almost swallowed by the vastness of the woods. The world seemed to have grown 10 times bigger and 100 times quieter. He took a tentative step, his delicate hooves leaving the first tiny prints in the fresh, untouched snow. Not far away, nestled in a cozy burrow under the roots of an old birch tree, a different kind of curiosity was stirring. Cottontail, a baby bunny with fur as white as the snow itself, and ears tipped with the softest pink, poked his twitching nose out into the cold air. Snow. He loved the snow. It meant hopping games and sliding down soft drifts. As he took his first bouncy hop out of the burrow, something caught his eye. A neat little line of prints, smaller than any he had ever seen before. They weren't the familiar tracks of a squirrel or the hurried dash of a field mouse. These were different. They were delicate, almost shy. Who could they belong to? His twitching nose wiggled with excitement. A new friend to play with, perhaps. Without a second thought, Cottontail decided to follow them. His own fluffy paws made little puffing sounds in the snow as he hopped along, his mind buzzing with possibilities. He imagined finding a friendly badger or maybe a cheerful chickadee who had dropped a seed. The trail led him past frosty ferns that sparkled like jewels and under branches heavy with their new white coats. The forest was a winter wonderland, and Cottontail was on an adventure. The gentle snowfall began to change. The flakes grew bigger and fell faster, swirling in a dizzying dance. The wind started to howl a lonely song, shaking the mighty pine trees and sending showers of snow cascading to the ground. It was becoming a real storm. But Cottontail was a determined little bunny. He squinted against the wind, his long ears flattened against his head, and kept his eyes fixed on the trail. The tiny hoof prints were getting harder to see, filling up with snow almost as soon as they were made. He hopped faster, his little heart thumping with a mix of excitement and a new feeling, a little bit of worry. The trail led him deeper into the woods, through a thicket of tangled bushes that scratched at his soft fur, and over a frozen stream that glimmered like a ribbon of glass. The wind whistled and roared, and the world was a whirlwind of white. Just when he was starting to feel a bit lost himself, he saw it. Huddled at the base of a great, towering pine tree, whose branches offered a small shelter from the storm, was the fawn. The little deer was shivering, his cinnamon coat dusted with snow, looking so small and sad. Cottontail's heart went out to the little fawn. He hopped closer, making soft, comforting noises. The fawn lifted his head, his big eyes filled with tears and fear. He looked so relieved to see another living creature. Cottontail didn't hesitate. He snuggled right up against the fawn's side, tucking his own warm, fluffy body close. The fawn let out a little sigh and leaned into the bunny's warmth. Even though he was just a small rabbit, Cottontail's presence was a huge comfort. They huddled together, a tiny island of warmth in the middle of the swirling storm. The bunny's soft fur and steady heartbeat seemed to calm the fawn's shivering. They shared their body heat, creating a safe, cozy space protected by the giant pine. They waited, listening to the storm rage around them. Then, through the howl of the wind, came another sound. A gentle, low call. It was a sound the fawn knew well. The most beautiful sound in the whole world. His ears perked up and his head lifted with hope. A moment later, a graceful figure emerged through the snow-filled clearing. It was his mother. Her eyes, so like his own, were filled with relief and love. She nuzzled her baby, licking the snow from his coat. She then gave a soft, gentle nudge to the little white bunny. A silent thank you for being a friend. The family was reunited, and the tiny bunny had shown that even the smallest creature can make the biggest difference. The storm began to calm, and a peaceful quiet once again settled over the snowy forest. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed our story. Don't forget to follow for more adventures.